So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the police presence has increased here in downtown Houston in the last half hour. There's a little festival, and I heard that at least 200 protesters are marching from City Hall and are going to join the circumcision protesters. Are going to join the circumcision protesters in the free speech area. We believe their arrival is imminent because yes, in fact, here they come right now. You can see they have a lot of mounted police. And the free speech area is actually working to our advantage right now because all the people are being funneled. All the people are being funneled past us. So here come the protesters that were at City Hall, and I will. Police, this is our area. This is our area. No wall! No wall! Refugees are welcome here, no hate, no fear. 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 That needs to be right here with them all in. So the circumcision protesters, you can see that the police are here to make sure that we are not, that our right to protest here is not impeded upon. But we are just a handful compared to the large group that has just arrived. They are obviously many, many hundreds of people, and they are peaceful, and
where are they going?
really? So, so I would assume that this is the media covering this, covering the political protest. But you can see that for the circumcision protesters, we are vastly outnumbered. But we do have the most advantageous spot in the free speech zone because. You can see that I'll actually go outside the free speech zone and show you the. You can see that the way they shut down the sidewalks here. You can see that everyone is being funneled toward. Everyone has to go past the free speech zone. Yeah, that's why we're around. And you can see the police have the sidewalk closed off down there. And you can see the heavy police presence. And they appear to have hundreds and hundreds of protesters here. And the police have many men out here. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's at least, there appear to be about 15 mounted officers, as well as all these officers, and then there's officers across the street and over here, and you can see the it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for intact-us to hold our ground here because we're slowly being swallowed up by this huge group. So the circumcision protesters were a small number within, there appear to be 300 to 500 other protesters here with us, and I believe if we could speak to any or all of them, they probably are on our side. That's just speculation. See, it's the interesting thing is the way it's set up. You can see the bloodstained men have the front line here. It's very interesting. We've got all these hundreds and hundreds of people passing us, and all the commotion is attracting more. The crowds have just gotten off the charts. I've never been at a protest in the middle of such a crowd, and the beautiful thing is with this police presence, it's probably as safe as we ever are on the front lines, and we're always safe. But this is quite remarkable to feel safe inside in the middle of a large crowd like this. But you can see bloodstained men and the circumcision protesters. We have the front line here. We have it. We've been holding it down for 2 days. we've got hundreds of protesters behind the bloodstained men on the in the free speech zone. So all the photographs are with the bloodstained men in the front. We claimed this spot early on in the weekend, so it's really quite remarkable. And you can see the, I'll show you how many protesters are down here.
Everyone, the police are trying to prevent us from marching further. Let them know. Blue streets. Our streets. Blue streets.
You can see that there's quite a sizable crowd here. Quite a sizable crowd. I don't know if I can get an estimate of it or not, but it's huge. Huge crowd.
What do we want? Justice. Where do we want it? What do we want? Justice. Where do we want it?
Huge crowd. It goes back.
Justice. Where do we want it? What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. Where do we want it? What do we want? Justice. Where do we want it? No Trump. No hate. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist. I want to go protest with them. I want to go fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA.
So I would estimate there are probably 500 people in there. 500 people, and we've got about 15 circumcision protesters. But as you can see, the police are here in force, and we have what Dominic earlier called the pole position. We have the favored position here because we've been holding it all weekend. So you can see this is just a remarkable. I've never protested in such a remarkable crowd before. It's just astonishing. And you can see the photographers are zooming in on our signs.
Sir, you're going to have to go in at this point. Sure. There's no more room. You cannot march around out here. What y'all guys, can you backside? What's your back? All protesters out here. No room out here.
So as you can see, I'm not carrying a sign, but they know that I'm one of the protesters, so they ordered me to come back into the free speech zone because they do really have quite a crowd out there, and I think they're concerned about any possible clashes between the protesters and the passersby. I haven't seen what's going on. But you can see we are essentially pressed up against the fence now by this crowd. You know, we're lost in it.
About circumcision. American parents love their children. However, we believe that the medical community has misled everybody about the form, structure, and function of the foreskin.
I wish they would have chopped my full dick off.
Yeah, but they chopped part of it off. Partial penile amputation is really what it is. How do you feel about abortion? You know, as a group, we don't take an official position, but amongst us, we have pro-life folks, we have pro-choice folks. We got this is not an issue that's left, right, center, any of that kind of stuff. This is something completely different.
It's pro-children.
Yes, this is about protecting babies and when they become.
I'm actually against children. Thank you.
All right, interesting to know. Thanks.
So, y'all's like I'm very interested in that.
I just said it. I want to get
So you're saying y'all are protesting circumcision in such a way?
Yes, because it's not something that's necessary that we should do.
So you can see the police are here right behind me. The protesters have the circumcision protesters have the pole position here, and what it is that there's a possible confrontation brewing because the leaders of the political rally are insisting that they want to march on the street out of here, and the police are telling them that they cannot leave the free speech zone and they will not be allowed to march on the streets. And so that's why there are so many police here.
Everyone, these pigs are trying to prevent us from marching.
Oh, hey. I'm not where we're at. I'm not where we're at.
We're good.
Hey, you have to show respect. You don't come out here and
These cops and our friends are trying to silencing everything.
please not come out here.
Blue streets!
You go ahead and go to the street. Now let have y'all run. We did not come out here. Thank you so much. One of these guys said, "Do we really want to be associated with these people?" And I said, "You're not for human rights?" Woo, sorry, baby.
So I'm getting notifications that my Facebook app is stalling, so I don't really know whether you're getting a smooth broadcast or not on this. We are surrounded by protesters and policemen, and I don't believe the protesters are going to press a confrontation.
From Pennsylvania.
So you can see the protesters are demanding that they should have the freedom to march. I don't know what's going to happen.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Peter. Have a good one.
Meanwhile, you can see the plane is flying overhead with, can't read it from this side. Oh yeah, Popeyes. And that would be a police helicopter in the sky, or a news helicopter, but most likely a police helicopter. We've got about 400 to 500 political protesters pinned in with the Bloodstained Men circumcision protesters. As you can see, they're pressed in. They're pressed in against. It's not as tight as we were before. I'm not sure where the pressure point is on this crowd.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
Brother K, we're gonna head out. We're heading out.
So, well, I'm still live,
Okay.
so let me sign off.
Okay.
So, why don't you tell us what your day was like? Berlin?
Berlin, yes. The day was awesome. We got a lot of positive feedback, some rude feedback, but more positive than rude, which is awesome. An all around awesome day. Yeah, a lot of people took info and it was great.
And will we see you at the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Most likely.
Great. Well, thank you for coming out, y'all.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, yeah, you're getting while the getting's good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think this will be. It seems like a peaceful crowd,
Yeah, oh yeah.
so I don't think there will be a confrontation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, y'all, drive safe. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you at the Super Bowl. So the three moms are leaving, and they seem to be allowing some people in. I'm not sure what the criteria is, unless they know that those are part of this protest. I'm not sure. But this is the political protest that. So you can see the circumcision protesters are holding our own against this huge onslaught of other protesters. We have the front line here, the front row at the in the free speech area. And one interesting advantage of all these protesters out here is that they are all seeing our protest. But you can see, just we are really pressed up against the fence here, just by the sheer number of other protesters. The chant seems to be, "Chief, let us march." Now, I don't know if that means the chief of police is out here or not. I don't know who Houston is, so I don't know if the chief is actually here. But they're addressing I don't know if the chief of police is actually here, so I don't want to speculate if they're actually addressing the chief of police or not. If he's here trying to decide what to do, or if they. I don't know if the issue is settled. Are they thinking of letting them march?
I haven't heard. I know they met at City Hall earlier and marched down here. I don't know if they're going to let them march again though.
Public safety?
Get far away from the city. There's a lot of vehicles and everything right now with the traffic. I know that's why. If they don't let them march, that's probably going to be why. But well, after that, I don't know. It's starting to get pretty congested down here. Pretty good now.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
All it takes is one idiot to ruin it for everybody.
So I just, like I said, I don't know how much of this video is coming through because I keep getting the Facebook app. I keep saying that Facebook has stalled or something to that effect. But I just talked to one of the policemen. He said he doesn't know if the marchers if the protesters will be allowed to march or not. The protesters are chanting chief let us march 2 by 2 or 2 at a time, something like that. And the police do not seem as on edge as they were. But meanwhile, you can see all the passers-by, all the commotion has just drawn more attention to the Bloodstained Men protest. So it's been high exposure for the circumcision protesters here. The political protest has definitely worked to our advantage for publicity for our cause, and I have to say I have detected no hostility whatsoever toward our protest from the political protesters. And now it appears that there's some resolution has been reached. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so yeah, the crowd is slowly filing out. So they may be marching back to City Hall. You can see the police helicopters still hovering overhead. Take this opportunity to let the political protesters see my protest sign. Now that the crowd pressure has eased, I have a little room to operate here. Bloodstained Men remain doing this work for the activist community, reaching parents. We have reached thousands of people today, no question about it. Yes, there was a peaceful resolution reached. The guy was yes, sir. Are you from Boston? What? Are you from Boston? Let me give you one of our cards. No. Let me give you one of our cards. Bloodstained Men and their friends, we're spreading public awareness about the damage, destruction, and worthlessness of baby circumcision in the United States.
Yeah, I don't agree with you.
Do you know what circumcision is?
Yes.
Yeah, it was ordained in the Bible by
The Bible
Abraham.
as a covenant between God and his people.
But doctors do it in hospitals. We don't do religion in hospitals, do we?
Yes, we do. St. Chris Rosa Hospital, St. Methodist Hospital. Yes, we do religion.
So religion.
If it weren't for the religious, there'd be no hospital.
You know more than God in years. Harder wisdom than God.
Well, that was certainly the most dramatic situation I've ever been involved in front lines, but quite remarkable, and it ended peacefully. And I don't know where the protesters marched back to. I know they began at City Hall and they went back in that same direction. So the police, something had to be done because the protesters weren't just going to stay here. So I think the police must have decided to let them march back to City Hall, where they will probably hold a rally at City Hall and then go back, go their separate ways. So meanwhile, the circumcision protesters, Bloodstained Men and their friends, and Your Whole Baby, we have been left alone left again alone in the free speech area. And as you can see, the passers-by have a front row seat for the circumcision protest here at the 2017 Super Bowl. I may go live shortly before we pull up stakes at 6 p.m. I'll see what the situation on the ground is. But I hope that I don't know. I know that parts of this video did not show. I don't think so, judging by the notifications I kept getting from Facebook. But thank you for viewing, ladies and gentlemen, and I will definitely broadcast live tomorrow from the Super Bowl, and possibly another wrap up tonight before we leave for the day. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon.